Curse items are any magic items with some sort of potential negative impact on the user. Removing curse items. While some curse items can simply be discarded, others force a compulsion upon the user to keep the item, no matter the cost. These items go around the web selling for large amounts of money, and some people simply want to acquire them just to have them, ignoring the warnings of others, and even those who have died due to the curses attached to the items. Here's my list of curse items that still exist around the world. Some are so dangerous that they have to be kept hidden away with extra security, so turn off the lights, sit back, and relax. Legend has it that the people who possess the painting witness the characters in the painting move at night and sometimes even leave the painting and appear in the room in which it was displayed. Many people that have simply viewed the painting have complained about immediately feeling sick or weak. Painted by artist Bill Stoneham in 1972, The Hands Resist Him is considered one of the world's most haunted pieces of art. Each owner has passed on a warning to the next potential buyer, which is that coming nightfall, the figures within the painting either move or disappear entirely. According to the artist, the doorway represents a threshold between this world and the world of fantasy and impossibilities, while the door is a guide that will escort the boy through it. The hands pressed against the glass represent alternate lives or possibilities. The most striking coincidence documented is that the owner of the first gallery that ever showed the painting and the art critic that reviewed it both died within 1 year of first seeing it. The legend is that you have to ask permission to take a photo of the doll, and if you don't, you're simply cursed. Surrounding the doll are letters of forgiveness from people who have taken the photographs without its permission, asking for him to lift the curse. Robert the doll belonged to Robert Otto and was apparently gifted to him in 1896 by a servant who practiced black magic and carried a dislike for the family. But things started getting weird when people heard the doll talk back to Robert. The doll became active and started appearing in windows when no one was in the house, and it would vandalize rooms, break objects, and of course, poor Robert got the blame, despite how openly terrified he was of this doll. After Robert died, another family bought the house, and upon finding the doll in the attic, a little girl was just as terrified as poor Robert and said that the doll wanted to kill her and do terrible things to her. The doll is now on display in a museum in Key West and is still believed to curse people. Annabelle the doll was originally discovered in an antique shop in 1970. After being purchased as a gift from a mother to her daughter, strange things started happening. Upon receiving it and bringing it home, she noticed that over time the doll will appear in other rooms that she did not put her in. On one account, she found it standing on its legs unsupported. In addition, little notes started appearing around her apartment randomly with writings on it that read, "Help us," and fresh droplets of blood would appear on the doll's dress. The doll's activity started getting out of hand, which even included vicious and unexplained attacks and scratch marks. The girl finally contacted renowned psychic investigators Ed and Lorraine Warren, who determined that the doll was actually possessed by a demon who was trying to possess the girl. The doll was ultimately given to the Warrens, who put it in a glass cabinet, where it remains to this day in their occult museum in Connecticut. The Myrtles Plantation is believed to be one of the most haunted places in the world, but the most haunted item on the premises is a mirror that was added to the home in 1980. Legends claim that the mirror contains the spirit of Sarah Woodruff and her children, who were poisoned to death by a slave named Chloe on the premises. Whenever a family member dies, tradition dictates that you're supposed to cover all the mirrors in the house so that the spirit don't get lost or trapped. Poor Clark missed one of the mirrors in the house, and it is said that the spirits of Sarah and her children got trapped there. The guests at the plantation, which is now a popular bed and breakfast, have reported seeing lurking in the mirror and child-sized handprints on the glass. In 2001, a man named Kevin Manis purchased a wine cabinet that was auctioned at eBay and immediately started having terrible nightmares, as did the people around him. He decided to give the cabinet to his mother, who then suffered a stroke. The very day she received it, each owner since then has reported horrible events upon coming into possession of the cabinet. Its last owner, Jason Haxton, developed a strange skin disease among other medical conditions. The origins of the box were traced back to a Holocaust survivor and is believed to be possessed by a dieback, a restless and usually malicious spirit in Jewish mythology, believed to be able to haunt and possess the living. Upon learning this, Haxton, with the help of local rabbis, decided to hide the box from the rest of the world so that it couldn't do any more damage. The artist who painted the anguished man committed suicide, but before he took his life, he mixed his own blood with the oil paint that he used for the painting. Fascinated by his charm and somehow mysteriously drawn towards it, Sean Robinson used to spend hours staring at the anguished man painting as a child in his basement where it had been hidden by his grandmother. After she died, Sean inherited the painting from her, and he had his own family by then and decided to hang the painting on the wall despite several arguments with his wife. The house that Sean lived in started to experience a bizarre paranormal events. Doors crackling in the middle of the night, followed by blood-curdling screams that seemed to be coming from nowhere. But the most horrifying experience of all was the nightmares that each and every member of the family had every night ever since they hung the painting, suddenly waking them up in the middle of the night. Upon learning all of this and having all of this happening, Sean took the painting down, but it still resides in its basement in Cumbria, England, to this day. Discovered 1991 in the Alps of Italy, the mummy of Otzi, aka the Iceman, is believed to be of a man who lived around 3000 BCE. His body was preserved by a glacier that surrounded him after he died of exposure, but after he was inherited, the people linked to the discovery began to die, often in violent accidents. All 7 deaths, including the forensic pathologist Rainer Henn, who died in a horrific car accident en route to give a speech about the Iceman, mountaineer Kurt Fritz, who died in an avalanche, and hiker Helmut Seaman, who discovered the Iceman during a hike with his wife, died after falling off a dangerous hidden pad. It can be linked to the Iceman, or rather the curse of the Iceman and his discovery. The Crime Boy painting was produced by an artist named Giovanni Brangolin in 1950, and it quickly became famous, or rather infamous. Over the years, the painting became very popular and thus mass-produced and hung in many homes across Britain. However, it soon became widely reported that many of these homes began mysteriously catching fire, with many of them burning to the ground. But as creepy as that, the most disturbing thing is that in many of these homes, the painting of the Crime Boy was discovered absolutely untouched by the raging flames. Some regarded these fires as pure coincidences, but the undamaged paintings haven't been explained until this date.